Welcome. It is time for Constitution Study Television. I am Douglas V. Gibbs, your host, politicalpistachio.com, douglasvgibbs.com. And I was at a picnic in the LA County area yesterday, and someone says to me, well, gosh, Doug, your videos are interesting. And a friend asked me after watching them, is this guy a Republican? Is he a Democrat? I'm a constitutionalist. The Constitution is not about party. It's about the Constitution. And so sometimes when you watch these videos, they're going to seem very objective, very non-party, non-ideological, and that's because they are. They're all about the U.S. Constitution. Now, it's interesting because when we get into what the Constitution is all about, the left wing of this country considers it to be a right-wing document. The right considers it to be a right-wing document. It's actually supposed to be dead center. Now, we have to look at the political spectrum, and you can see up there in the, right up here in the corner, the political spectrum there, and you'll notice that on the far left, it's 100% government, far right is 0% government, and you see in the middle is Constitution. It says securing the rights of the people. Notice it used to say protecting the rights of the people. I kind of crossed that out, put securing the rights of the people instead. The graphic comes from a John Birch Society video, and they're essentially right in it, but I don't like the word protecting the rights of the people. I'll get to that in a minute. The purpose of the Constitution is to secure the rights of the people. Anyway, get back to the political spectrum, and it all began with the French. The French political spectrum was based on the way it was before the French Revolution. Those who agreed with the monarchy and the established church and the system as it was, and didn't want any change, and they tended to be members of the church and religious and so on and so forth. Those representatives in the assembly in France sat on the right side of the assembly. Those who wanted change, they were in favor of something like what wound up happening, the French Revolution. They were secularists. They were they believed in a centralized system. They were collectivists. Those guys sat on the left side of the assembly. Those who could see both sides but really didn't pick a side, they were considered moderates, they sat in the middle. Now, the Democrats, the left, whatever you want to call them, they use that particular political spectrum for America. Therefore, if you're a Christian, you're religious, well, then that's the right, because you believe in the state church there in France. If you don't want any change and you want it to just be the way it's always been, well, that's the right. But if you want change, if you're a secularist and if you're a collectivist, well, then you're a liberal and you're to the left. And while essentially those people do fit into those slots, it's a little different for America. America never had an established church. They're not supposed to have a centralized system or a powerful monarch. So therefore, the French version of the political system or the political spectrum is not applicable. The one that developed in the United States is what you see there. 100% government to the left, 0% government to the right, and the government and the Constitution's dead center. Why? Because it creates big government, but it puts limits on it. So we've got big government left, limits right, settles dead center. The federal government, according to the Constitution, only has a few authorities. It is only supposed to operate within a limited manner. When we talk about small government or limited government, that doesn't mean let's take away stuff. What it means is that the government is supposed to operate within the legal parameters afforded it. Small government. A big government is one that goes beyond those parameters. It expands beyond what it's supposed to be authorized to do. So the Constitution is dead center. So when people get confused, they say, well, Doug, gosh, are you a Republican? Are you a Democrat? Are you conservative? Are you a liberal? Well, I'm a constitutional moderate, I guess. Because the Constitution is supposed to be dead center. Now, that said, folks on the right and Tea Parties and and Republican clubs and the Republican Party and all that tend to be more in agreement with me than the Democrats. So when it comes to choosing a party, I've registered as a Republican because, well, be honest with you, that's the vessel between the two possible choices that I believe I have the best chance of returning this country to constitutional boundaries and what's supposed to be constitutional. But I'm definitely not a Republican first. I believe in the Creator. I'm a Christian first. I'm a constitutionalist first. Now, that all said, let's get back to now the securing the rights of the people thing. John Birch's idea put protecting the rights of the people, and that's not accurate. If you go to the Declaration of Independence, it says life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men. Then in the preamble, it says to secure the blessings of liberty. So the word secure is used, not protect. Why? Because it said, like I said in the Declaration, the purpose of government is to secure your rights. Now, people say, well, it's the same. They're there to protect your rights. No, because if they're there to protect your rights, well, then it's a flawed definition. Because your rights come from the Creator, not from government. And those rights are yours. They're your possession. They belong to you. And the greatest threat to those rights is government. So if government is there to protect your rights, who are they there to protect your rights from? Themselves? I mean, it'd be like the Roman soldier, don't worry, I'm here to protect you against me. Well, it's ridiculous. So they're not there to protect your rights. They're not there to guarantee your rights. That's another misnomer that has developed over time. It's like, I keep hearing Joe Biden, well, I believe that health care is a right. And what he's saying is because it's a right, that means the government must provide it, must secure it, must guarantee it, must ensure that everybody has it no matter what. Well, if that's the definition for rights, then where's my government-issued gun? Right to keep and bear arms is a right. So obviously that definition is not accurate. The accurate definition is what we see in the Declaration of Independence: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. You don't have a right to health care. You have a right to pursue it. It's government's job to get out of the way so that you can pursue it. And if this particular private entity doesn't offer what you want, then you can go to the next one. And if they don't have what you want, you go to the next one. You're pursuing it in a free market system. That's the way it's supposed to work. You don't have a right to have a cake baked the way you want, but you have a right to pursue it. You go to this baker. If they don't want to bake it the way you want, or they don't believe they should, or they believe it's offensive to their own rights, religious rights or whatever, go to the next baker. You have a right to pursue it. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. This restaurant is run by a bunch of bigots, racist, whatever, and you're hungry for particular food, go to the next restaurant. I know that sounds horrible because we live in a society where we're always accused of being racist. You know what? A part of liberty is the ability to disagree. So if those jerks want to be out there, let them be out there. Let them do their thing. But you know what's going to happen? No one's going to go to their businesses. No one's going to pay them attention. Nobody's going to give them any time of day. And eventually, they either disappear or they become so ineffectual that they're negligible in our society. Their words mean nothing. Let society take care of it. It's not government's job to dictate to us how to behave. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. You want something, pursue it. Land of opportunity. You have that opportunity in a free market system. Constitution's dead center. It says federal government, you have to exist. We need a bigger government in order to do certain things like moderate when it comes to disputes between the states, when it comes to the common defense, when it comes to making sure that the union is operating in a manner that it needs to as a country. But domestically, very few authorities. It's none of your business. Leave it to the states. This isn't America. This is the United States. It's a bunch of states that have united. They're sovereign, they're autonomous, they're unique. This is different than any other country in the world. And the Constitution is the document that establishes that system and runs that system. So if the federal government doesn't have the authority, Either get an amendment, get the states to agree to and ratify that amendment, or don't do it. That's how it's supposed to work. Thanks for watching. My name is Douglas V. Gibbs, politicalpistachio.com, douglasvgibbs.com. Subscribe to my videos. Hit the notification bell if you want to hear about the new ones coming out. Visit Political Pistachio regularly. I put my videos there as well as articles and reminders about classes coming up and things like that. Get on my email list. Shoot me an email at constitutionspeaker@yahoo.com. Asking me a Constitution question. constitutionspeaker@yahoo.com. Book me as a speaker. constitutionspeaker@yahoo.com. Donate. politicalpistachio.com, douglasvgibbs.com, yellow donate button. Buy my books. douglasvgibbs.com/books.php. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Stay safe, stay patriotic, and always stay constitutional.